welcome to the channel Get Rich. If you are new to this channel, please subscribe this channel and also click a little bell icon. So today the company we are going to analyze is Mindtree Limited. So before going into details into the company, let's do the industry review. So India's IT industry contributes 7.7% to GDP. The IT business process management industry grew 6.1% year on year, while the IT and ITES industry grew from $170 billion in financial year 2019 to $181 billion in financial 2020. India has become the world's largest digital capability hub, accounting for 75% of the global digital talent. So the revenue from digital is expected to contribute 38% of all IT and ITES revenue by financial year 2025. Indian IT industry employed 4.1 million people with a budget of about $90 billion in financial year 2019. Due to lowering of IT systems related spend by most customers, except infrastructure spend, which will grow to accommodate remote work and business support, the hiring trend could dip in financial year 2021. So let's get into Mindtree Limited. Mindtree Limited is an information technology consulting and implementation company with focus on select verticals. For example, BFSI, retail, travel and hospitality, and high tech. They are the go-to digital solutions partner for some of the world's leading companies. They are born digital, and through their expertise in digital IT and consulting, they power global 2000 customers to progress on their digital transformation journey. There are 21,991 employees in Mindtree and they have 764 bots. So they are present in 18 countries, which include the world's most digitally advanced and dynamic markets. They are focused on driving the paradigm of better value through digital transformation across the world's economies, enabling better growth and success all round. So at the end of financial 2019, they had 307 active clients. So at the end of first quarter financial 2021, they have 292 active clients with the addition of 6 new clients. So they have 14 of Fortune 100 companies as their customers. So their annual revenue is $1,089 million, and 77% of them are coming from US, 15% of them are coming from Europe. So they are predominantly, their revenues are coming from US and Europe. So also in last July, they become a subsidiary of L&T. So accordingly, L&T become the promoter parent company of Mindtree. They are named US Rising Star in connected cars in the ISG provider lens. They also opened a new delivery center in Atlanta, a new European headquarters in London, and an immersive technology experience center called Immersive Aurora in Bengaluru. So they are also named a preferred partner for Microsoft Azure Kubernetes service and join Hyperledger to accelerate blockchain development. If you are breaking down their revenues, 41% of their revenues are coming from high technology and media, which they are calling as high tech. So these are mainly technology companies, media and entertainment, and education vertical. And then the next segment is retail, CPG, and manufacturing. 21% of their revenue are coming from this particular segment. This includes retail, consumer packaging goods, consumer electronics, and manufacturing. And then the next segment is banking, financial service, and insurance, BFSI. 21% of their revenue are coming from this particular segment. So this includes banking, financial services, and also insurance sector. And then the last segment is travel and hospitality. 17% of their revenues are coming from this particular sector. So they have transportation and logistics. So they have around 17% of their revenues are coming from this particular sector. Then if you are looking this segment breakdown over quarter, in quarter 4 financial 2019, 39.6% of their revenues are coming from high tech and media. If you compare that with quarter 3 financial 2020, it increased to 41.5%. In quarter 4 financial 2020, it further increased to 43.1%. So their high tech and media segment is doing pretty good over the quarters. And if you look into the second one, which is BFSI, it was 21.8% in quarter 4 financial 2019, and it reduced to 21.3% in quarter 3 financial 20, and it further reduced to 20.4% in quarter 4 financial 2020. And if you have a look at retail, CPG, and manufacturing, it reduced from 22.2% to 20.6% to 20.3% in quarter 4 financial 2020. And the last vertical is travel and hospitality. So it reduced from 16.4% to 16.2% in quarter 4 financial 2020. If you are having a look at their revenue distribution by service offering, the first one is digital. So 36% of their revenue are coming from digital service offering in financial 2019. In financial 2020, it improved to 38%. So 38% of their revenues are coming from digital service offering. And the second biggest one is infrastructure management and tech support. It was 23% in financial 2019 and increased to 25% in financial 2020. And then we have test engineering, which reduced from 19% to 18% in financial 2020. And then we have ADM and product engineering, which reduced from 14% to 12%. And then we have packaging solution, which also reduced from 8% to 7%. Inside the digital revenue, if you further break down their digital revenue split, 60% of their digital revenue are interactive, 30% are from data science and engineering services, 9% are cloud services, and they have 1% which are other than these three segments. Now let's have a look at each of these segments. So the first one is high tech and media segment. So high technology and media. So the first one is technology companies. So they address twin challenges of providing best in class technology and services and maintaining a competitive edge on price points. So they enable their customers to leverage the best and most advanced of their capabilities to drive better solutions and elevate their customer experience. So then there comes media and entertainment. They enable broadcasters, publishers, gamers, out-of-home services, advertising agencies, and businesses to stay ahead of trends and developments with real-time customer data. So they enable their customers to respond to these changing scenarios and quickly adapt to the customer needs. So then they have education sector. So Mindtree is helping accelerate the digital disruption in the field of education toward increasing affordability, access, innovation, and collaboration. And then they have retail, CPG, and manufacturing segment. So in this segment, the first comes the retail industry. So the retail industry is undergoing a digital disruption across all major supply chains, led by changing consumer behavior and expectations. So the digital consumer expects a seamless, engaging next generation experience across all channels. Mindtree helps retailers transform their technology to gain a 360-degree view of consumers and serve them across the entire purchase process using retail supply management and retail consulting. And then comes consumer packaged goods. So the packaged goods industries is undergoing transformational changes to create new business models, optimized processes, innovative products, and hyper personalized consumer engagements at each touchpoint to drive growth. So Mindtree is a partner of choice for CPG enterprises globally. They ensure that the design and execution of the digital strategy remains intelligent, adaptive, and focused. And then here comes consumer electronics. So Mindtree service offerings helps customers effectively tackle challenges of hyper personalized services and meet competitive price points. So last comes manufacturing. So Mindtree helps manufacturers to connect with their customers in new ways while enabling the workforce to collaborate and innovate faster. So they also help automate, scale manufacturing and aftermarket processes and provide better response to demand. Here comes BFSI. In this sector, first comes banking. To shape the future of banking, they work with their banking customers to provide scalable services, manage and execute strategic initiatives, and create innovative delivery models like omnidirectional banking. So Mindtree focuses on helping banks and financial institutions better engage with their customers and users. And then in financial services, their goal is to help financial organizations respond to changing market conditions quickly and distribute capital more efficiently to grow in the capital markets industry. They also help them to embrace new technology to comply with regulatory requirements and combat fraud. And the last one is insurance. So Mindtree works to provide evolving businesses with insurance solutions that make digital real and help keep pace with the transforming industry. So then the last sector, which is travel and hospitality. So in the field of travel and hospitality, Mindtree delivers digital-led customer experience for an industry based on omni-channel customer engagement that is high-touch and experiential. They help brands avoid broken experience and drive better understanding of their customer unstated needs and expectations. In transportation and logistics, Mindtree delivers digital transformation and technology services for the transportation and logistics industry, including air, rail, road, shipping, and logistics. Through their deep domain expertise and technical capabilities in digital, IoT, logistic and supply chain, infrastructure, transportation and logistic management, They touch every aspect of the transportation and logistic business, delivering high value for their customers. Let's have a look at summary of all of these segments. So the first vertical, communication, media and technology. So in the first quarter financial 2020, their contribution to revenue was 51%. So their growth was 7.6%, which is quarter over quarter growth, and they have 24.1% year over year growth. So if you look into BFSI, so their contribution was 20.3% of their revenues are coming from BFSI in quarter 1 financial 2020. So they had a degrowth of 9.5% quarter over quarter and 9.7% year over year. If you look into the manufacturing, CPG and retail, their contribution was 20.6% of their revenues. So they had a 7.7% degrowth quarter over quarter and 11.2% degrowth of quarter over quarter. And travel, transport and hospitality, this segment contributes around 8.1% and their degrowth was 54.5% in quarter over quarter and 53.9% degrowth year over year. So as we know, the current crisis hit the travel, transportation and hospitality sector very bad. As a result, their travel, transport and hospitality sector took a big hit, but at the same time it was compensated by their communications, media and technology, which had a growth of 24% year over year. But then we have to see how this particular segment evolves in the future. So now let's have a look at their office presence. So where are they located and how much of their revenues are coming from which part of the world. So then if you have a look at America, they have a presence in Arizona, California, Canada, Florida, Georgia, Illinois, Minnesota, New Jersey, New York, Ohio, Texas and Washington, and 75% of their revenues are coming from America. And then if you have a look at Europe, they have a presence in Belgium, France, Germany, Ireland, Netherlands, Poland, Switzerland, United Kingdom and Sweden. They have 17% of their revenues are coming from Europe. And in India, they have a presence in Bengaluru, Bhubaneswar, Chennai, Hyderabad and Pune, and 4% of their revenues is coming from India. And if you look at their presence in the rest of the world, they have a presence in Australia, China, Japan, Malaysia, Singapore and UAE. They 4% of their revenues are coming from rest of the world. So then if you have a look at their breakdown quarter over quarter, in quarter 4 financial 2019, 73.6% of their revenues are coming from US. In quarter 3 financial 20, it improved to 74.6%, and quarter 4 financial 20, it increased to 76.8%. Their US revenues are growing much faster than their other verticals. So now let's have a look at their revenue mix between on-site and offshore. So in financial 2019, 59% of their revenues are coming from on-site and 41% from offshore. In financial 2020, 58% of their revenues are coming from on-site and 42% of their revenue are coming from offshore. So now let's have a look at their client concentration. How much of their revenues are coming from top client, how much of their revenues are coming from top 5 clients, and how much of their revenues are coming from top 10 clients. In quarter 4 financial 19, 19.8% of their revenues are coming from their top client. In quarter 3 financial 2020, it increased to 23.1%. In quarter 4 financial 2020, it increased to 24.8%. So in quarter 1 financial 2021, it already increased to 30%. 30% of their revenues are coming from one single client, which is their top client. So their top client is Microsoft. So Microsoft is doing pretty well. So they are also getting a lot of business from Microsoft. So their revenue from top client is increased to 30% in quarter 1 financial 2021. This is considered as a risk because any fluctuations from their top client directly hit their revenues pretty hard. So that's the risk we have to consider going forward. And then if we consider the top 5 clients, so the revenues from the top 5 clients is 33.2% in quarter 4 financial 2019, and it increased to 37.9% in quarter 4 financial 2020. If you look at the top 10 clients, it increased from 42.9% to 47.4% in quarter 4 financial 2020. It already increased to 50% in quarter 1 financial 2021. If you are having a look at their total active clients in quarter 4 financial 2019, they have an active client of 349. And then in quarter 3 financial 2020, it reduced to 320, and in quarter 4 financial 2020, it reduced to 307. Already in quarter 1 financial 2021, it further reduced to 292. And also if you have a look at their new clients added, it was 15 in quarter 4 financial 19, and 7 in quarter 3 financial 20, and 5 in quarter 4 financial 2020. So then let's have a look at their $1 million clients. So clients who have revenue of more than $100 million, which is the number is 1 in quarter 4 financial 2019, it remains same 1 in quarter 4 financial 2020. I think it's Microsoft because they are their biggest client. And then the client who have revenues more than $50 million, they also have one client in quarter for financial 2019 and remain the same in quarter for financial 2020. And clients who have more than $25 million revenue, they have like four clients in quarter for financial 2019 and increased to five in quarter 3 financial 2020 and remained as 5 in quarter 4 financial 2020. And if you have a look at clients who have revenues more than $10 million, they have 23 clients in quarter 4 financial 2019 and remain the same 23 in quarter 4 financial 20. And then if you have a look at clients who have more than $5 million of revenue, which is 45 in quarter 4 financial 2019 and it increased to 47 in quarter 4 financial 2020. And then if you have a look at the clients who have more than $1 million business, which is 120 in quarter 4 financial 2019 and increased to 134 in quarter 4 financial 2020. So then let's have a look at the utilization rate of the employees. So if you have a look at the head count of Mindtree in financial 2016, it was 16,623 and it increased to 21,991 in financial 2020. And if you have a look at the utilization including trainees in quarter 1 financial 2019, it was 75.4 and it remained around 75.5 in quarter 1 financial 2021. And if you have a look at utilization excluding trainees, it was 76.3 in quarter 1 financial 2019 and it increased to 77.4 in quarter 1 financial 2021. So also if you have a look at average experience in years, they are 7.4 years average experience in quarter 4 financial 2019 and it increased to 7.5 years average experience in quarter 4 financial 2020. Some of the order wins in quarter 1 financial 2021 is for a leading manufacturer in outdoor maintenance and gardening equipment. Mindtree has been awarded a program to redefine the e-commerce journey by bringing direct to customers channel using Salesforce Commerce Cloud and by developing a new content management system, thereby opening a new revenue stream for the client organization. Mindtree has been awarded a multi-year global infrastructure services engagement for a top multinational corporate travel and meetings management company to provide 24/7 remote infrastructure management, administration, monitoring and support services for their data centers across the enterprise. Mindtree has been chosen as a strategic partner for the implementation of Salesforce-based digital solutions and service rollout for Pioneer in retail teledentistry enterprise based in North America. For a global travel technology leader, Mindtree has been chosen as a strategic implementation partner to accelerate their cloud transformation and modernization roadmap to create a new travel marketplace comprising critical products and systems across their entire portfolio. Mindtree has been chosen for development and testing services for a world-leading healthcare manufacturing and distribution company based in North America. So then these are the key wins they had in first quarter financial 2021. So then let's have a look at the new deal wins and renewals over the past quarters. In quarter 1 financial 2019, they had a new deal wins of $51 million and they had a renewal of $255 million. If you look at quarter 2 financial 2019, it was $49 million new deal wins and $222 million renewals. And then if you are having a look at quarter 4 financial 2020, they had $187 million new deal wins and $206 million renewals. If you are having a look at quarter 1 financial 2021, they had $76 million new deal wins and $315 million renewals. So they are having high order wins and order inflows compared to their past quarters, which is a good thing. So then let's have a look at their growth opportunities. So one of their project was they are developing a next generation airport platform for self baggage and boarding. They are redeveloping airport systems through Blue Digital Industry IoT on Azure. They are also working on IoT enabled devices and self-certified to cloud. So the other project they are doing with consumer goods giant, engaging with consumers faster and better across all digital channels. They created a unified web content management platform. They have like 40% cost savings, 50% decrease in time to market. We are having a look at the number of bots over the quarters. In quarter 4 financial 2019, they have 576 bots. In quarter 3 financial 20, they had 715 bots, and in quarter 4 financial 2020, they have 764 bots. They are also working in digital transformation, delivering complex digital programs at scale with better quality and faster time to market. They are also working on integrated DevSecOps and automation, transform run organization driven by automation and integrated operation platform. They're also working beyond digital. They help customers reimagine their enterprise with IoT, artificial intelligence and blockchain, etc. Let's have a look at their financials. So if you are having a look at their revenues, So in financial 2016, they had a revenue of 4,673 crores and it increased to 7,764 crores in financial 2020 with a CAGR of 13.5%. If you are looking at the EBITDA, it increased from 821 crores in financial 2016 to 1,089 crores in financial 2020 with a CAGR of 7.3%. If you are having a look at net profit, it increased from 552 crores in financial 2016 to 631 crores in financial 2020 with a CAGR of 3.4%. Their net profit dipped in financial 2020, but then I expect them to bounce back in financial 2021. If you are having a look at dividend per share, it was 12.5 rupees in financial 2016. It increased to 30 rupees in financial 2020 with a CAGR of 24.5%. If you are having a look at their revenue increase in $1 million, in financial year 2007, they had $131 million revenues and it increased to $1,089 million in financial 2020 with a CAGR of 17.7%. If you are having a look at EBITDA in $1 million, in financial 2007, it was $24 million. It increased to $153 million in financial 2020. So then if you are having a look at EBITDA margin, in financial 2016, they had a EBITDA margin of 17.6%. In financial 2017, they had a EBITDA margin of 13.5%. In financial 2018, it's 13.6%. In financial 2019, it was 15.2%. In financial 2020, it was around 13.7%, and their margin is expected to increase to 14.7% in financial 2021 and 16% in financial 2022. If you are having a look at their balance sheet, their total assets increased from 1,032 crores in March 2009 to 5,157 crores in March 2020. If you are having a look at borrowings, it decreased from 139 crores to currently zero. They are a net debt-free company. They don't have any debt. And also if you have a look at their investments, it increased from 100 crores to 775 crores. Then if you are having a look at their net worth, it increased from 2,414 crores in financial 2016 to 3,157 crores in financial 2020 with a CAGR of 6.9%. If you are having a look at the return on equity, it was 25% in financial 2016 and currently it is 19.5% in financial 2020. If you are having a look at return on capital employed, it was 33% in financial 2016 and it is 25.3% in financial 2020. So then they are having very good return on equity and return on capital employed. They have a robust balance sheet and liquidity position with cash and cash equivalents of 1,361 crores as on March 31, 2020. With good visibility of additional cash flow generation in financial 2021. If you are having a look at cash flow conversion, their EBITDA to operational cash flow conversion was impressive at 76% and their free cash flow was 700 crores. During financial 2019, their cash flow conversion was 59.2% and free cash flow was 455 crores. So they are having very good free cash flow. That is very good thing for the company. Let's have a look at their shareholding pattern. So the promoter holds around 73.5% and mutual fund holds around 4.7%, FII hold around 10.4% and others public they hold around 8.2%. If we are having a look at historical promoter holding in Mindtree Limited, it was 13.3% until June 2019. From September 2019, it was 73.6%. Currently, it is 73.5% because L&T bought majority of Mindtree shares and they become their parent company. Now they are under a big Larsen and Toubro group company. So if you are having a look at historical FII holding, it reduced from 36.2% in June 2019 to 10.8% in September 2019. That is because of L&T buying from different players from FII, DII and also from public. So if you look at from September 2019 to June 2020, it was around 10.8% and it reduced to 10.4%. If you are having a look at DII holding in Mindtree, in September 2019 it was 3.3% and it increased to 4.7% in June 2020. If you are having a look at mutual fund shareholding changes, in April 2020 it was around 6.3 million shares and it increased to 7.8 million shares in June 2020. So mutual funds are buying Mindtree Limited. And also if you are having a look at number of holders, it increased from 33 in April 2020 to 46 in June 2020. So number of mutual funds holding Mindtree Limited is also increasing. If you are having a look at mutual fund holders, Mirae Asset Emerging Blue Chip holds around 2.2% of their AUM, UTI Equity holds around 1.07%, Axis Midcap it's 1.58% of their AUM, Mirae Asset Midcap Fund holds around 3.69% of their AUM, Mirae Asset Tax Saver, DSP Equity Opportunities, UTI Unit Linked Insurance Plan, Kotak Equity, HDFC Growth Opportunities Plan, Data Digital India, Kotak Blue Chip, Edelweiss Arbitrage, Mirae Asset, Kotak India, Axis Growth Opportunities Fund, Aditya, BSL, Digital India. These are all the mutual funds they are holding Mindtree Limited. If we are having a look at Mindtree board, 18% of the board has 21 to 30 years of experience. 82% of the board has 30 plus years experience. And then if you're having a look at board age profile, 18% of them are between 36 to 55 years, 18% of them are above 70 years, 64% of them are between 56 to 70 years. If you're having a look at male and female diversity, so it was 82% comprised of male and 18% female. So then if you are having a look at management salary, their salary are well below their regulatory limit, and they are also having less than 5% of their net profit as their management salary. So that's also a very good thing. If you are having a look at the peer comparisons, so let's compare Mindtree with their peers like Persistent Systems, L&T Infotech, L&T Technology Services, and Tata Elxsi. So if we are having a look at revenues, Mindtree was around 7,764 crores, and if you look at Persistent Systems, it was around 3,566 crores. L&T Infotech 10,879 crores, L&T Technology Services it was 5,619 crores, and Tata Elxsi it's around 1,610 crores. So if you are having a look at net profit, it was 631 crores for Mindtree, and Persistent Systems it was 340 crores. L&T Infotech 1,520 crores, L&T Technology Services it was 819 crores, and Tata Elxsi it was 256 crores. If you look at the PE ratio, Mindtree trades at 23.05 PE, Persistent Systems it was around 19.48, L&T Infotech it was 26.65, L&T Technology Services trades at 20.79, and Tata Elxsi 20.81. If you look at the price to book ratio, Mindtree was at 5 and Persistent Systems it's 2.84, L&T Infotech 7.8, L&T Technology Services 5.5, Tata Elxsi 5.27. Also, if we are having a look at return on equity, Mindtree has a return on equity of 5-year average return on equity of 21.46%, and then Persistent Systems has around 15.38%, L&T Infotech it's around 33.5%, L&T Technology Services it was 33.08%, Tata Elxsi is 33.75%. If you are having a look at the return on capital employed, 5-year average it's 28% for Mindtree, 21% for Persistent Systems, L&T Infotech 44.4%, L&T Technology Services 42%, Tata Elxsi 54%. If you are having a look at sales growth, 5 years average, Mindtree was around 16.86%, Persistent Systems 13.52%, L&T Infotech 16.92%, L&T Technology Services 16.5%, and Tata Elxsi 13.64%. And also net profit growth, it was 5-year average is 4.17% for Mindtree, 2.98% for Persistent Systems, 14.59% for L&T Infotech, 21.42% for L&T Technology Services, and Tata Elxsi has around 20.43% average. So Mindtree is having a pretty decent ROE and ROCE compared to Persistent Systems, but then if you compare with others, they are still having pretty less return on equity and return on capital employed compared to their peers. So then let's have a look at valuation of Mindtree. If you're having a look at the price chart, it reached a peak of 1,200 in July 2018, and currently it trades around 1,050. So it is approaching their all-time high. Then if you're having a look at their 1-year forward PE, it trades around 23. So that's already par P, or it's in par valuation compared to where it should be. If you are then having a look at revenue projection over the years, in financial 2016, they had a revenue of 4,673 crores. It increased to 7,764 crores in financial 2020. I am projecting it to be for financial 2021, 7,997 crores. For financial 2022, 9,276 crores. For financial 2023, it was 10,668 crores. And with the revenue growth of 3% for financial 2021, 16% for financial 2022, 15% for financial 2023. So their net profit increased from 552 crores in financial 2016 to 631 crores in financial 2021, and I am estimating for financial 2021 it to be reach 824 crores of net profit, and 974 crores in financial 2022, 1152 crores for financial 2023, with a net profit growth of 31% in financial 2021, 18% for financial 2022, and 18% for financial 2023. So I am estimating the price target with the current valuation of PE 23. So with the current valuation, the price target is 1,151 rupees for 1 year, 1,361 rupees for 2 year, 1,610 rupees for 3 year, with the price cumulative growth of 9% for 1 year, 29% for 2 year, and 53% for 3 year. So I feel the fair PE for Mindtree is around 22. So I am estimating the price target with the PE of 22. So with the PE of 22, The price target is 1101 rupees for 1 year, 1302 rupees for 2 year, 1540 rupees for 3 year, with a price cumulative growth of 5% for 1 year, 24% for 2 year, and 46% for 3 year. So Mindtree is a very good company with good potential. They are also under a very good group company. They are under Larsen and Turbo group company. So they are their parent company. So it is a very good company with a growth potential of 50%. So this stock can give 50% in the next 3 years. So this is my personal opinion. I am not recommending any stock. So you have to do your due diligence before investing in any stock. If you like this video, like, share and comment, and subscribe this channel, and also press a little bell icon. Thank you for watching and have a nice day. Bye bye.